Hi, if you want to learn how to build your first Kubernetes application in AWS, the video is for you. Hi everyone, welcome in next episode of Hackitect Playground. Today we'll talk about Kubernetes, microservices and all the cool stuff around. Everyone is talking about that today. Nowadays it's a big topic, replacing the obsolete technologies mainly because of the portability of the solution. So we will build our Kubernetes based application in AWS with the Elastic Kubernetes services. I will guide you from zero to hero in this video step by step, and you will know how to build your stuff. To break it, we really need to know how to build it. So if we want to investigate some security and hacking details of Kubernetes and Docker technology, we first need to understand the basics. So if you like my videos, don't forget to subscribe. Word Kubernetes comes from Greek word helmsman or captain. Usually IT guys and IT geeks call Kubernetes K8s or Kube. So if you'll hear these two terms, is the same as Kubernetes itself. So to understand the details of this technology, in basics, you really need to do some deep dive. I will show you the basic architecture. Let's go to check the architecture itself. Architecture of Kubernetes is pretty simple, but it's really great. You have a master node as a control node where you can access through UI or kubectl. API server, controller, and scheduler are the three main parts of the master node. Then you have HTTD as distributed key value database. With the image registry of Docker containers, you can deploy pods. Pods are more containers, one or more containers together as a basic deployment units. And every node, which is the worker node, contains kubelet, kubeproxy and add-ons like a DNS or any other optional add-ons. Let's build together our first Kubernetes application in AWS. I will guide you through whole deployment. Before we start, we need to install kubectl, which is a command line tool allowing you managing your Kubernetes cluster, including inspection of the logs, resource cluster management, and deploying the applications. It takes some time to download the application, so please be patient, and I will do shortcut here. So before we will start the installation of EKS tool, we will check the kubectl version. If it will not fail, everything is fine. Kubectl version will give you the version of your kubectl installation. You should get the similar output as I did. I'm using here Šottl packaging system for Windows. So choco install yes and EKSCTL, which means Elastic Kubernetes Service command line tool. This tool allows you managing your Kubernetes workloads in AWS. As you see, I get error because I already have this tool in my PC, so I will just upgrade it with choco upgrade yes EKSCTL, and it will upgrade my package to the latest version. So it is pretty simple to manage, pretty simple to install, but you need to do that before we will start. EKSCTL version should give you the information about the latest information or the information about your version. And if it not fails, everything is again fine. We'll start with our EKSCTL first cluster. You can basically deploy the cluster on EC2 instances, which are virtualized instances in AWS, or you can use Fargate, which is serverless solution. EKSCTL create cluster will create a cluster for you. If you will specify the name --name Hackitect cluster, you can say okay, this will be the name of our cluster. Then --version is a version of. Kubernetes, then the region specification is absolutely necessary to know where you will run your nodes. Group name, nodes, and the node type. That means the instance type. Here I am using T3 medium. Number of the nodes, number of the minimum nodes, and maximum number of nodes. And then I'm saying that yes, I'm interested in the managed nodes. And as you see, the deployment started and it takes some time, and you can see all the steps going on in the deployment. So you see all the groups, security groups deployed, in which VPC, all of these things will be visible for you in your installation progress, where you will find your AWS Kubernetes cluster. Some people are looking in the development tools, but please know it's in the containers. It's a section for the containers. Let's go to the containers, and you should see the same thing as I see. It's the name of our cluster and the version, and it is in the creating mode. It's possible to see some things or some parts of the installation or deployment before it is deployed, but everything, as you will see, is still a little bit in the deployment. So we don't have any nodes already deployed. There is a networking. We see the VPC info and the subnets created for us, and then we can see the logging, for example, for which part of the logging is enabled and for which parts of deployment is not enabled, and the updates over the cluster and tags. You can manage the tags even if the cluster is not deployed yet. So I can put there my own tags and add it to the deployment even before it started. So as you see, it's pretty simple, and you don't need to wait when the cluster is deployed. So you can mark, for example, your production deployments. If you see here, and you can check it, you should be able to read your subnets deployed, and also see the CloudFormation stacks are deployed for you. You will be able to see your regions and the sequential task created for deploying our Kubernetes cluster. Then the nodes, including the reverse IP name, are available for you, and the EKS cluster is already deployed and it's ready, which is really great for us. So kubectl command get nodes will give you the list of the nodes that we deployed. I say that I'm interested in having 2 different nodes, and I deployed them. So that's so pretty simple with one command, fully managed Kubernetes cluster. If we will go to AWS and basically check the deployment, now we should be able to see the node groups and the amount of instances deployed there, and also the subnets which are deployed for us, and Kubernetes labels. For example, the updates are not there because we didn't update any configuration of our cluster, but still it's enough to see lots of details. If we will go to EC2, we should see our EC2 deployment. So you can see also your auto-scaling groups and the load balancing. So lots of things are done for you automatically without pushing you to specifying more details and building the load balancers or building the EC2 instances before you will deploy your Kubernetes application. As you see here, I'm trying to show you the security groups created for you. Everything is basically deployed right on the spot. Also, the allocation of IP addresses is done automatically for you. You can basically click on the name of the security group and access to security group directly from the EC2 management. And as you see, all the traffic is allowed. That I do not recommend for the production environment. That's just for our purposes. If we will check the nodes in EKS, we can see all the details. That means the cluster security groups. We can manage the networking. So we can say, okay, I want to have public endpoint, I want to have public and private, or I want to have just a private endpoints. So you can manage access to your Hacky cluster or my Hacky cluster. And you can also manage the logging. If you will click on logging, you can define the API server logging, auditing logging, authentication logging, controller manager logging, or scheduler logging. All of these options can be enabled, disabled, and you can save the changes. Then the changes goes directly to the updates, and it takes some time in the progress to update your Kubernetes cluster, and you will see all the changes done to your Kubernetes cluster. And as you see, also you can manage your tags. If you don't like your tags, you can add new, like a billing centers, like a production environment, testing environment, all of these things. In the compute, like a compute nodes, you also can check if all the nodes are created for you. So let's continue in our journey to Kubernetes deployment, and we will need to create some resources in a Kubernetes cluster, like applications, metric server, or dashboard. So let's go for that. With kubectl apply -f or -f, you will apply the deployment, and in this case we will use a metric server. If you do not follow all the commands that I'm writing here, I just use the default documentation from AWS, so you can check the documentation and do it as I did also. So now I'm deploying the metrics server to have at least some resources available in Kubernetes. And I want to deploy also the dashboard, which is GUI for managing your Kubernetes cluster, where you can see lots of information about your resources, about the CPU allocation, about the nodes created, about the deployments. So kubectl get deployment metric server namespace kubesystem will give me the information like what's the name, if it is ready, if it is up to date, if it is available, and how old the deployment is. As you see here, it's 32 seconds, so it's pretty new. With kubectl apply -f and the link to the YAML with the dashboard deployment, you will deploy the Kubernetes dashboard. You should see all the created resources from the dashboard, secrets, roles, all of these things should be there. With kubectl proxy, you'll run the proxy on the localhost on port 8001. Open the Visual Studio Code and create the role for us. To access Kubernetes dashboard, you need to create a role. Role is simple YAML description of access rights or role cluster binding to specific subjects. In this case, I'm using Visual Studio Code to show you how the role can look like. Please do not use this role for the production environment. It's just for testing purposes, and it's for the service account for EKS administration to at least to have some demo access rights for us. So let's continue. I just moved to the Kubernetes directory where I can deploy these access rights. So you need to apply them with the apply -f EKS admin service account YAML. That's the name of my role. And when it is deployed, you should be able to access to your Kubernetes dashboard, cluster, or metric server. kubectl -n. I see that I made a typo there. I see, okay. As you see that, right, kubecrl. So let's change it. kubectl -n kubesystem should list all the secrets for you. So you need to find, and you can, if you are using Linux system, it's much easier because you can grab the role that you are using. But I'll need to take token from the specific role that are specified for my account to be able to log into the dashboard. So to be able to log into the dashboard, I need to know my secret, and with this secret, so I will show you how these secrets look like. You know, you see that there is a name, namespace, annotation of the secret, and the secret itself. For secret management, I recommend to use HashiCorp Vault or AWS Secret Manager, which I mentioned in my previous episodes. So it takes some time for me to find the right one, but I just want to show you how huge the list of the tokens and secrets is. So you will just drag or copy paste the secret to be able to log into your Kubernetes dashboard. You can use a kubeconfig or the token itself to log into Kubernetes dashboard. And in this case, I will use the token that I take. So I will enter the token, I will sign in with the token, and with the Kubernetes dashboard, I'm able to use a GUI. So if you like more GUI, or if you are more GUI guys or ladies, that's something for you. you should have access to the namespaces, to the nodes, to see, and it's visible here that we deployed it in EU West region compute internal, and we can see the details. For example, the CPU utilization. We can see when it was created, how old it is. As you see, it's 29 minutes from my start of the recording. And we also can check the memory allocation and amount of pods. As I said before, pod is a default deployment or the basic deployment unit for Kubernetes clusters. So it takes some time to load. You can see the CPU usage in the time. You can see the config maps of running services, ingress traffic or ingress filtering, replica sets. So basically, if your cluster is highly available or not, and that helps you to have nice overview over your Kubernetes deployment and all the application inside of that. It's very simple, easy to manage and easy to read. You also see the labels and metadata which are created for you. They are basically related to the architecture of the Kubernetes system itself. And you can also check if all your pods are running. So if there will be failure and you will need to do some troubleshooting, this is the best place where to go. If we will go to deploy our first application, it will be the guestbook. I scripted this thing to speed it up, but it's pretty simple deployment of Redis master and slave and guestbook front end, or the GUI of the application itself, which consists from different components. And it takes some time to deploy. At least the last part is pretty slow, but when it is deployed, you should be able to see your application and access it. And all of these things are easy to deploy, easy to manage. You see here, book, service JSON, and service guestbook created. You should get also the name of the resource created message after it is deployed. When I click, if I will write kubectl get services wide, I should be able to see all the services running. Also the ports with the protocols and the DNS name. Please copy paste your DNS name because we will use it to access the application. Short summary. We deployed Redis slave replication controller, Redis master service, and Redis master replication controller, Redis slave service, and guestbook replication controller, and last one, guestbook application with kubectl apply. So you hear and you see that we are working with Redis. Redis is absolutely awesome technology. When I was young, I never believed that these things will came in the game. Redis is in memory data structure store or database, if you want, used as a cache, database, or message broker. It supports huge list or number of data structures like lists, sets, or hashes. So you can work with that as a database, and it's stored completely in the memory. If you like it or are more interested in Redis, you can investigate some details. Go to the AWS Management Console and have some fun with AWS stuff. So if you are in AWS Management Console, let's go to EC2 and then go to Load Balancers. And in the Load Balancers, you should see our Load Balancer. There are the availability zones, there is an instance behind the load balancer, including the health check and listener on port 3000. That's important. If you remember, we copy-pasted the DNS name of our application, put it in the search window and put there also the port, and basically you should be able to get to the page. And here you are. This is the Kubernetes first application, guestbook, that we can use. I hope that you reach the same point as I did and you don't have any problems with the deployment. You should be able to submit your first data in the guestbook. Let's go to Kubernetes dashboard to check all the services and controllers or replica controllers that are for us created, and you should see all the pods. The pods are the minimum deployable units. as I said before. And we should be able to see the metadata, resource information, conditions, and events if we have enough access rights in the role-based access control definition. We will be able to see the CPU usage in the time, memory usage, and the age of all the pods available for us. Wow, you built your first Kubernetes application in cloud. Congratulations. Let's do some cleaning together to clean the environment after what we have built. I hope that you enjoy every step of our building and at least that you understand some basics. So congratulations again. Let's do the cleanup together. kubectl delete, replication controller for Redis master, Redis slave, for guestbook, and then the services should help you to delete all the stuff. After you get deleted message from your command line, all is clean and every pod is deleted. That's the status where you should go, and you should see the same thing to do the cleanup for you. When it is deleted, we can go for deletion of the cluster itself. I will show you how to do it in AWS Management Console because it's lots of fun and it's interesting to see the different viewpoints on the same thing. So prepare yourself and please wait for a few seconds when you are having problems with the deletion. If not, move with me. So we are here in AWS Management Console. Let's go to Elastic Kubernetes Service and go to your cluster. Depends on the name that you choose. That you will maybe see different name. And if you want to delete the cluster, you are asked for confirmation for the name of the cluster. When you click on delete, there is a problem because you have some nodes created and you need to first delete the nodes. And after the nodes are deleted, you can delete the cluster itself. So here they will ask me for the name of my nodes and then it will go to deletion process. As you see, status of the nodes is deleting. When the nodes will be deleted, I will be able to delete whole cluster. So I did some cut here to make it faster. Then I can delete the cluster with the name of my cluster, and it should work as defined. Thank you for watching. Thank you so much for your support. Any subscribe will be appreciated. So if you like my videos, please subscribe. I hope that you enjoy Kubernetes. We will not just build the things, we'll also break the things, and it will be more and more interesting. Thank you for watching.